Welcome to the DW experience. Welcome to the DW experience. Welcome to the DW experience. Welcome to the DW experience.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the DW Experience. I am so excited. We are on episode number 6. This is going to be a great episode. So first, I want to say thank you to Anointed Radio, to Pastor Jay. Thank you for this platform, for this opportunity, to get to share. And so we're just going to get straight into it. So the DW Experience, we're on episode 6. So the fact that you all are showing me love, the fact that you all are listening, liking, and sharing, do me a favor. If you haven't already, go to the DW Experience, the YouTube page, go to the Facebook page. You can go to my Instagram and like it, show your boy some love. All you got to do is just click like, just bam, that's it. And I greatly appreciate it, and share with your friends that would enjoy it. So really quick, before we get started with our special guest tonight, she is on her way. She's on the highway. I want to talk about something that's been very, very troubling to me today. I've been feeling judged. Let me go to the comments, because I've been feeling judged. Yesterday, I asked a simple question: if any of you have had a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. And the response that I got, I was a little bit taken aback. I felt a little judged about me asking if anybody else had a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. So a lot of people said, ew, yuck. But I'm gonna say this: some of y'all eat chitlins, pig insides, but you judging me for eating a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. So let me tell you how it came about that I ate a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. So I went to the fridge. I didn't go to the grocery store. If possible, okay, let me tell you about it, because you may change your mind. All right. So I went into the fridge and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't feel like cooking. I'm having peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I looked in the fridge and I saw the peanut butter and I was like, oh, yeah, I got some jelly. Then I looked up and I saw the mayo, and I remembered a friend telling me about a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. So I was like, I looked at the mayo, then I looked at the jelly. Then I looked at the mayo, then I looked at the jelly. Then I said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and try this mayo. So I put a thin layer of mayo on the bread, right? And I put the peanut butter on the other side, and I put it together. And I had a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. So let me tell you about it. It was a sweet, salty, savory, delicious sandwich that I never thought the combination would go together. Now, a lot of you responded like, Gerald, that is gross, that is disgusting. But, some of you may not know, I was born in Canada. I used to have peanut butter and banana sandwiches. So then my girl hit me up and was like, you should try a peanut butter mayo and banana sandwich. And I'm looking forward to it. So for those of you out there, you're judging me, but you ate chitlins and black eyed peas at the beginning of the year. So I would just want to suggest, that you consider trying a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want to do. I was really I'm so excited about tonight. So if you're not on, do me a favor, click like and share. I wanted to like introduce. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start introducing her. Okay, and I want to do it this way. Y'all know, well, maybe you don't. We're on episode 6, so some of you are new. Welcome to the DW experience. Um, I usually do a round of applause, and we'll get to that. But here's how I want to do it this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a singer, an entertainer, a speaker, a lover of jazz, a lover of music, if you know someone who is a lover of music, entertainment, if you love Shaka Khan, Anita Baker, Christina Aguilera, what I highly suggest is that you tag your friend. Go on and click like and share. And this is how I want to introduce her, okay? Because I want to read the bio just a little bit. My mom helped me with public reading, so here we go. Okay. Well, let me see. Ladies and gentlemen, as a music historian, her knowledge exceeds that of most, and she utilizes this knowledge to teach and train. She has worked with Mary J. Blige, Christina Aguilera, Jennifer Hudson, Megan Trainor, Ron Isley, Will I Am, Gawapale, Rasan Patterson, Herbu, Layla Hathaway. Huh? You can hear her on Mariah Carey and Michael Bolton's Christmas album. Let me keep going. You can hear her on Black Dynamite, Burlesque, Little Brats, The Brats, Boss Baby, Little, and HBO's Euphoria. Let me just keep going for some of y'all babies out there. Disney on The Lion King. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, one voice, 5 octaves. Give it up for the amazing Toni Scruggs.
Hi, darling. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. A little tired. I had to go to work today, but still good. Can't complain.
And it's a blessing to be working.
Yes, it is.
At this time, I am so excited. Like I have, you listen, you hit me up like, did you read my bio? I'm like, oh, did I?
Listen, I don't know. I don't claim to be a household name. So sometimes folks got to get a little, crash course on me. So I send them to the website and everything else.
Okay, so let's start right there. I read off a resume that just hails in comparison to what a professional singer is. What keeps you humble?
Oh, well, the journey definitely does. Because listen, even though y'all think I'm a good singer, sometimes I can't pay the bills. Or I couldn't for a long time. And that was with working with all of my favorites and your favorites and everybody else. So that definitely keeps you humble. When you gotta scratch some money together to put in your gas tank so you can go to the session. That definitely keeps you humble.
And
Yeah,
right
that and then growing up in church, because it's not about you growing up in church. It's definitely about, being a tool, being a conduit so that the message can flow through you. So it's not about you. So that definitely keeps you humble every time.
Okay, see, this is why I was like, what direction are we going with this interview? So okay, I'm gonna put a bookmark right here.
Okay.
And go back to the beginning and say,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome Toni Scruggs. You are from the Inland Empire.
Yep. Born and raised.
Moreno Valley.
Yep. Moreno Valley, born in Fontana. I'm a real Southern California girl. Born in Fontana. Yeah, Fontucky, right.
Rancho Cucamonga here.
Oh, yep. You know it. Around the corner from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did a little research, so I want to get it out the way, but mother and father singers.
Yeah.
And
instrumentalists.
Yeah. Daddy was the guitarist.
Guitar, but he plays everything. He plays saxophone, flute, bass, little tiny bit of keys, but he also sings, and he plays all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
And then it just transferred down to sisters, three sisters.
Three sisters.
You are
But
the
my mother,
trailblazer.
I'm the oldest. I was the rebel. So I'm realizing that now. My sisters and I had two different upbringings because since I was the rebel, I was doing all the stuff that I wasn't supposed to, and I was doing it all by myself. So I was the one who we grew up in a household, a religious household, where we, weren't allowed to listen to gospel or anything but gospel music and maybe some smooth jazz in the good old smooth jazz days. But I was the one who snuck off and was listening to Sarah Vaughan and Frank Sinatra and Bob Marley and Billie Holiday and all the other stuff and the Beach Boys and the oldies and stuff. So
and we're going to get to that also. Like I'm sitting here compartmentalizing and working our interview through, because the fact that you grew up in a religious household,
yeah.
and was in some senses limited to what you heard musically,
Yeah.
and then to be in this place where on Clubhouse, it was like I was just dipping in and out, and I was just so. If y'all not in Clubhouse, listen, get you an iPhone, get you a gadget.
I love it.
Figured
It's
it
so
out.
fun.
It's
so
I tell
fun.
people, so good. I just like, I would be in there for a couple of hours and dip. This particular room, it had to go on for a good shift.
Yeah,
like
it was a lot. It was a good shift. Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
it was a long time.
Yeah, and you moderated that.
Thank you.
And that was your first room, I think.
It was my first room, but I'm not a stranger to being the guy who's like, all right, keep it down. Hey, now that's below the belt. Let's start to like direct some traffic. I've definitely in my career been able to direct traffic a lot, so I know how to make sure that everybody's heard, make sure that people aren't being disrespected and their toes aren't being stepped on. So I've definitely trained for that. Okay. Definitely, yeah.
Another part we're going to get to. So
yeah,
you grow up. You graduate high school, you realize that, you know what, I'm bigger than this inland empire. Like I'm ready to spread my wings and fly. You go to, I'm like telling your story, but I'm like,
yeah, you're doing good. You're doing great.
You go to Sac State.
I do. Yep.
You take the jazz.
So here's the thing. There was a little hiccup in the middle.
Okay.
I call it my gap 2 years because for about 2 years, I didn't do any singing at all. And it was interesting because that was some of my darkest, most depressing years of my life. So I was like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to do this. Okay, good to know. So it was interesting. I kind of snuck in. People didn't know. There are people on this planet who don't know that I sing at all. They're surprised when I put up videos on my Facebook because that wasn't what I was known for at all. So in college, even my roommate, she was like, do you sing? Because I would be humming around the room and stuff. And I mean, yeah, kind of, sort of. So then she's like, we should go do this karaoke thing. And we did karaoke for my dorm. And My Heart Will Go On was hot right then. I'm old. From Titanic. And I sang it. Everybody was like, who are you? Where did you come from? So then I kind of became the girl who sings that nobody really knew I sang, because I was known for like the playing ping pong and pool, shooting pool. Okay. Nobody knew that I could.
You were the fun girl. You were like,
I was the party girl. I could, and I didn't drink at all, but I could pour a mean beer. Like I could mix a shot, like people, or mix a drink. It was so weird. And I ended up even living in a frat house not a frat house, but like the house where a whole bunch of the dude bros lived for a long time. And I had a blast. And I was the party girl who didn't really party. It was fascinating. But yeah, I did. I got that little karaoke thing. And then my aunt invited me to sing at church, which I did for a little bit, but not long. Okay. And then a friend of mine who I met, who I call my big little brother, because he's about 2 years older than me, but he acts about 6 years younger than me. He kind of walked in my room one day and looked at my CDs and was like, hey, you got pretty good music taste. And I was like, oh, okay. We became fast friends. And then a year later, he was like, hey, I'm auditioning for this jazz choir. You want to come? I was like, yeah, why not? So that's how that kind of went. So there was a little tiny bit of space in between.
Okay. But it sounds like, I mean, just to move forward, but it wasn't like you were someone who was like, when I grow up, I just want to be the singer. I just want to be at the center. I just want to, Whitney
No,
Houston it. And
no, I was fighting it tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. Matter of fact, it had like my life had to end as I knew it for me to move back to Los Angeles. It had to end. Like I was fighting it. I was trying to get away. I was like, I want to go to New York. I want to be a starving artist. I want to, sing in little jazz clubs as a little jazz singer and die in obscurity. Like that was the plan. I didn't even have any aspirations for any of this at all.
And can I just pause right there for anybody hearing this on the live and on the replay? Like for me personally, I am based out of Las Vegas, and I grew up with the intentions of music. And things transpired. My mom passed away, and I moved away from Los Angeles. Thank you, but I had no intention of doing music, any radio, any of this. So when you say like my life had to end, it was like I was pursuing music, but I wasn't walking in my car. I remember, and this I'm gonna get back to, but like I remember leaving a gig, an open mic, and the Gladys Knight song was playing in my head. Oh, he's leaving on that. Like I was just like, I'm done. I'm gone. And I never looked back. And some years later, I moved to Vegas and I go to a church to visit. And the pastor was like, you look like you can sing.
Okay.
I was like, sometimes I do.
Right.
It was very random.
Interesting.
And the church ended up paying me to sing for the next couple of years, which somehow it's a whole story into this interview right now. So that's why I'm saying, like, my goal with the DW experience is to uplift, inspire, and encourage. There's enough gossip out there. There's enough salaciousness, which is all wonderful and it has its place. But I want people who listen to this, who may be, especially creative and artists, who may be in like a dark place or may feel like it's over. Like, hey, it's not necessarily over. Maybe you're restarting. Maybe you're resetting. Okay, so we get through college. We're a party girl. We pour a great beer. We're fun, but we don't drink. Somehow you end up at Universal Studios Japan. You go there. You live in Japan, right?
Yeah, but before that, I was an executive assistant. Like I had a whole other life. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna, be an executive assistant to, whoever, and I was doing it for, CEOs and department chairs and presidents and stuff like that. So I'm kind of floundering for a second there because I was like, school sucks. I hate school. The only reason I'm going is because of that jazz class. Literally the only reason I was in college was because of that jazz choir. And my friend saw this, my big little brother, and he was like, listen, this is not your life. I was like, big it is. I was like,
what's your big little brother's name? Sorry to interrupt.
Peter Vaughter.
Peter
and he's actually still in Japan right now. But he said, I'm auditioning for, and it's crazy because God sends people to me to move me out of where I am to where I'm supposed to be. And he was one of those people. And he's like, I'm auditioning for this gig in Japan. You should do it. He's like, I don't know if they have any jobs right now, but I'm leaving for it. So I'm going to keep an eye out for a job for you. I was like, fine, whatever. So then I feel like I moved to New York first. And I did move to New York first. I did. I was tired of my life. And I was like, I hate this. I don't want to do this anymore. I was, again, depressed because I wasn't singing again. I was doing every now and again. I was doing, I was still in the jazz class. And then I think picked up like a wedding band or something. They were driving me crazy. And so I was just like, this sucks. And I quit the wedding band and wasn't really doing much else. And I think I even left the jazz class because I think my teacher retired. So I was like, I don't know, this is whatever. So then my friend said, you should come and try to do this. So I moved to New York. This was actually before he even offered, or he mentioned it and then left for Japan. And then I moved to New York because I was like, that's the place that I want to live. It's my dream city. I want to, of course, go and be a jazz singer and die there. So that was the plan. So I go over there and I stay with family for a bit. And then I get a roommate in Spanish Harlem, and it was living the dream. I had such a blast and could not feed myself. I was singing in the subway. I think the most I ever made was $13 total. And I would literally take that $13 and go to the grocery store and buy food so I could eat that day. And that was the job that I worked for a few weeks, actually a few months. But after a while, my friend he sent me an email. He said they have a job. They have a Aretha Franklin review, Blues Brothers review featuring Aretha Franklin. He said, I think you should do it. He said, they're auditioning in New York. I was like, how is that even possible? He said, yeah, they're auditioning in New York. Take the audition and get the job and come on. I was like, all right. So I took the audition, and it's funny because I auditioned for that, and I think I auditioned for Rent at the same time. And yeah, so that would have been a whole different path, which I so fascinated to see what would have happened to that. But I auditioned for that and then got that, and I was on a plane within 6 months to Japan for a year.
I'm just curious to know, what role did you audition for in Rent?
What was the name of that? The lawyer. I forget, but it was the lawyer, and then I was going to be the Seasons of Love girl. I was going to be both.
I could just imagine 500. That's another song I know. Like,
yeah. That
but
was like
it just
Seasons of
sounds like
Love.
either way you would have went. You are destined to be where you are. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
what direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So now you get through Japan, and I would love to spend time there. But you come back and Shaka Khan, Shaka
Yeah.
Khan,
So that
boom.
was the whole when my life ended because I was trying to get back to New York. And my friend, I have no idea why she disappeared for like 5 years. The one that I lived with, the one who was my roommate in New York. And I was like, dude, what happened? Are you kidding me? And then when I moved to LA, like she started talking to me again. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But I thought that I had to be in LA. So then I restarted again in LA. Life ended. My life out there, came back home. And I was living with my parents for a second, and my sisters, who graduated UCLA, lived in LA and Crenshaw. And they were like, well, you can always come crash on our couch. I was like, all right, it's got to be better than this because the Inland Empire is so far from
Say
everything.
no more.
Yes. So I was crashing on their couch, and I became an open mic rat. I was at every open mic humanly possible. I, was meeting everybody, and not even meeting everybody, but I was just kind of singing. I just wanted to go sing. I started out at Holly Street, where I believe it was Marcus Miller.
Okay.
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong Miller. It's one of those Millers, the one who worked with Luther Vandross.
Okay.
He was hosting a night there, so I went and sang there all the time. And Cozy's was still open then, and Cafe Cordial, all those little holes in the wall. And I would just hit them all up because I had nothing else to do. And so I met a bunch of people, most of the people that are still my friends and colleagues to this day. Tracy Brown Bailey, she was Brown then, Jason Morales, Tiffany Smith, a bunch of people, Terrell Carter. And I feel like my sisters told me about an audition to sing background for Tweet. And she was one of my absolute favorite singers on the planet, living or dead. And I was like, I mean, what could it hurt? I know all of her music. What could it possibly hurt? So I went down there, and all of my friends to this day, friends and colleagues, were in that room. Brandon Wimbush, BJ the Chicago Kid,
I love
Tracy
Brandon.
Brown, me too, Brown Bailey, Octavia
I love
Pace,
Octavia.
so many people. And then it was her band, which at the time was Charlie Burrell, Nissan Stewart, Craig Brockman, and a few other gentlemen. Please forgive me if I I forget your names, but
Keep going.
Mavuto Carpenter was also there auditioning. And it was a thing where they were like, okay, so who has her record? I was the only person that raised my hand. And I was like, it just came out like last week. I was like, okay, that's an indicator. I'm going to take over this whole town. And I hate to say that I said that, but I did because I do my homework. The lady
Okay, we got to talk about that right there.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just park right there.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I have been passionate about when I am introduced to new artists, and even artists who have been in the industry or the game. I'm not a fan of that word,
I know,
but
me too.
it's the lack of confidence.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things that I realized. I feel like there are things that I learned. I don't want to say the hard way, but there are things that it's a beautiful industry, but there are things that definitely has turned me off in our culture. And I think one of the things is this weird humility. Like, why not be confident in your gift? Why not be like, you can be humble, like it's your job, but like where you say, like, you know what, I'm gonna get these jobs. Like, I've done the work, I've
Yeah.
done the studying.
Yeah.
I'm not here to step on feet, but it's like, if we're in the corporate world, um, there would be no argument about who's best for the job. So
Right.
what I want to intersect and ask for you is like, and I think I asked before, but where does that confidence come from? And what do you say to people who like lack that confidence in the industry?
Well, mine comes and goes too. Mine definitely waxes and wanes because
Hmm.
when you get to this level, it's not just about ability. It is not just about your resume. It's about a look, it's about a sound, it's about whether you match, the production. Yeah, you could be the best singer in the world and still not book the gig. So the industry
Mm.
has a way of humbling you. And for petty reasons. You don't fit the wardrobe. You are too tall, you're too short, you are too busty, you're not busty enough. Like there are petty little pitiful reasons why you won't get the job, and none of them have to do with your actual ability. So it is definitely humbling to be here,
Can I
especially as a
ask
five.
this?
Yeah.
Has it been because of somebody else? That's as messy as I'm gonna get. You ain't got to name names.
Yes and no. It's not that they have a person that they're trying to match per se, as much as it's taking all of the aspects of the production into consideration. So
Hmm.
when you get a plus size girl like myself, who is a little bit busty, that changes
Hmm.
the wardrobe budget because they,
Mm.
see, and then it starts to make sense. So where, you would just be able to run to Fashion Nova and pick up a bunch of size fours or a bunch of size smalls, it takes a little more time now. And you have to have somebody who has an eye for a plus size girl who's busty. So I understand it now. It screwed me over quite a bit in my career,
Yeah.
but it makes you think. And then you have to find somebody who can do hair or who can
Hmm.
do wigs or who can do, other things. You have to wonder if they're prepared for things. So it's not necessarily that it's personal or that they have, they want you to look like, Mariah Carey or whoever, at the time. It's just that sometimes it doesn't work for their particular production. And in that way, you have to not take everything personal. And I had to learn that the hard way myself. So it really is something to where you just kind of have to go, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Because
That's good.
anything whatever is for you is going to find you. You have to really trust that. You have to trust it. And if it doesn't, you got to find something else to do. Maybe that's not your era. Maybe it's not your area. Because for a long time, it wasn't mine. It wasn't my area. My area was to excel as an executive assistant. My area was to, be in New York. That was where I was supposed to be. And I knew that because of all the people that I met and the opportunities that I got while I was there. But when
Hmm.
those opportunities dried up, it was time to come on home. So you have to be in the place where the opportunities are for you, wherever that is, and you got to figure that out and decide that, and hopefully be in tune so that you can hear that from the universe, from God, from the goddess, from whoever you pray to or seek wisdom and advice from. So yeah, you just got to trust it. You got to trust that whatever is for you is going to find you. It's going to. I'm a living witness for that.
Thank you. Okay, we got more time, but like, can we just give it up for Toni Scruggs? I can. You don't remember? Let's just take a break really quick. Take a deep
Yeah.
breath because you just dropped a whole lot of nuggets
Yeah.
that I hope people really received out there. It's all
Mhm.
about giving forward, and that's what I absolutely adore about you. In addition to your extensive resume, and we have a game for you. We have a game that I've been
Okay.
playing that I've been developing. So we're going to
Okay.
get to that. Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, but you just, you have this extensive resume, but in addition to that, I will tell I don't want to say TJ, but
You can. That's fine. I
I,
answered all of
you
them,
know,
child.
TJ back in the day, it was like probably one of my, I don't want to say my last gigs, but I was just like really just like I'm a young man from Canada. We're proper, grew up in Rancho Cucamonga.
Mhm.
I told my mom, I was like, I do not have the skin for this. Like
Yeah.
this is like, and there's a lot, we'll talk about it. There'll be a book down the road, but
Yeah.
I always tell people like these American Idols, these wonderful competition shows that you see, the behind the scenes is just
Yeah.
like, everybody doesn't make, for the one artist that you saw back in the day, there were like 10 that got shelved that were
Yeah.
supposed to come out that had a budget. There's a whole story. So it was one
Yeah.
of my last gigs, and I was telling Tony in the clubhouse, I was like, I had lost my apartment. I was apartmenting with my cousin. He
Yeah.
decided to do what he did. We
Yeah.
got kicked out. I was sleeping on the couch. I didn't want to tell people. And I think Amber knew a little bit of my story, but I remember I took the one bus to the other bus, trying to be on
Same.
time.
Same. I can relate. Absolutely relate.
And left early and got there 15 minutes late. And me
Yep.
being, I was just like, my life is over. Nobody's ever going to want to work for me. These
Yeah.
people I look up to. And I sat next to you. It was this place on Ventura Boulevard. And I said, you're my big sister in my head. Like, I just like you. I didn't even know who you were, but I'm just like, I just really like you. Like you, and you were just like, oh, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. And we sat and listened to the show. But
Yeah.
it just goes to show how amazing you are, but you don't allow it to identify all of who you are.
Yeah.
So that goes back to, I told you we were going to compartmentalize it. Growing up in church and that reverence and that working from your soul. Were your parents pastors? Are you a PK or?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. They were over the youth department. They were also ministers of music. So pretty much, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that because it's interesting, like your love for music, but then also to hear you say, listen, I had $13 a day and I had to eat. So when did that end? What was that moment like you knew, okay, we're moving ahead. This is a living, this is what it is.
Probably, well, definitely for Japan, because Japan, it put everything in perspective for me, because I was like, there is a way to make a living and a good living as a singer and not be internationally famous, not necessarily have a record deal, not necessarily touch a, real stage. And I won't say a real stage, but a public stage per se, because I worked at Universal Studios in Japan, and we were on a stage outside. So it was, and I mean, I made a great living. I made a salary. I made a per diem for living there, and they paid all my bills. So all of my money was mine. And they gave me all my tax forms and everything else. So it was all legit and above board. So I was like, okay, this is very cool. I'm singing for a living, literally. Okay, good to know. So that pretty much changed my mind, because it really gave me that exposure to a life where I could actually live on my voice, and I still could have my anonymity, because that's very important to me. My anonymity, I could absolutely have hair on all the time and have a pound of makeup and be glammed down so that everybody be like, oh my God, who are you? You're someone, aren't you? I don't like that. I don't like it.
Right.
Not that I'm like Beyonce or anything, not even close, not even close. But I still like
okay,
for
Toni,
a few
let's
people to know who I am, where I go, and like casually, quietly, hey, I know who you are, and and I appreciate your work, because it's usually more singers who I love to connect with, and I love to interact with and commune with. So I love that it's singers and we get to connect and be like, hey, that was me on the, like, oh my God, that's so great. So it's, I like to have my quietness, because I'm still a severe introvert and I have a very limited amount of energy for everything. So when it comes down to it, I like to just go home and be quiet most times. So
okay, two things, because I just cannot let you go further and just dim down. You are gorgeous.
Thank
like, let's just
you.
without the makeup or with the makeup, and y'all go to ToniScruggs.com and see. She's like,
The
I'm not
beat,
close
child.
to me. It's
The
the
beat.
beat. But you have to have a clean, clear, smooth
And
canvas.
that, my friend, is what people do not realize. Everybody's like, man, your makeup be bomb. I'm like, no, my skin is bomb because I take care of it. It took me, and that's one reason that I have any kind of confidence is that I had to fight for everything that I had, tooth and nail, including my skin. I had to fight for it. Like I had to figure it out. I'm still fighting every day because my skin goes, ooh, I like that. Okay, this week I don't. Matter of fact, I just changed skincare like 2 weeks ago because my skin decided it didn't like the thing that has been giving me life for like 2 years. So I
Okay.
fight all the time for all the goodness. As good as I sing is because I fought for it. I had to hide and run around and sneak and get, all the information. Every nickel that I had went into buying CDs and tapes so that I could keep them and just absorb everything that I heard. So if I do have confidence, it's because I fought for it and I earned whatever I'm having confidence with.
I love that, and I'm
Yeah.
so let's just go down the vocal historian road.
Yeah.
Let's start the game. Let's
Okay.
start the game.
Okay.
I am going to give a homage to the wonderful gentleman, Terrell Rice, because he inspires me
Oh,
with everything that he's
yeah.
doing. He's amazing on YouTube. So
Mm-hmm.
I love music. Let me just
Me
say, I love
too.
music.
Mm-hmm.
I am honored to have you on this show because,
Oh, I'm honored
people
to
get it.
be here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so I didn't want to bite the game per se, even though the
Okay.
game's out there. So tonight we are playing a game called Truth or Sing.
Okay. Okay.
So we're gonna go a couple of rounds. You
Yep.
know, if you've been singing all day, you can choose truth. I'm pulling up my questions right now. They're
I
just
haven't.
random
Thank God.
questions.
Thank God. Oh,
Or you can choose to sing and we have a word for you to sing. I
okay.
don't have a timer right now because I said to myself, you know what, with everything going on, the last thing I want to do is apply a pressure of 8 seconds.
Right.
It
No, but I
just
usually can do it in less, way less than 8 seconds.
and
Yeah. 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 Seriously. I usually can do it in way less than 8 seconds.
when I get this studio upgraded and I have a producer and the sound and everything, please.
I would love to.
Okay. Toni,
Hmm.
truth or sing?
Okay.
You choose.
I don't care. You choose. What do
I
you
choose.
want?
Well, you gotta choose.
I don't
You
care.
know.
Truth. I'll do truth.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. What's one thing you've been wrong about?
Ooh. So I grew up a cockeyed pessimist.
Okay. Okay.
So most of my life, I really thought that I, was didn't have the look to do any of the things that I'm doing. Not
Okay.
the TV stuff, not a lot of this movie stuff that I've done. I was like, no, I probably won't ever. And then someone confirmed it for me in high school by telling me, you don't have a look for TV. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that was one. I guess that's one. That's enough.
I mean that's a good one. I mean,
Yeah.
and let me just say, you guys need to go to TonyScruggs.com. We'll talk at the end of the future projects and everything. But
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you are an adult, if you are a teenager, if you have kids, you can hear her voice somewhere,
Everywhere. Yeah.
literally everywhere, from
Yeah.
Disney to if you watch the Kelly Clarkson show, you will
Hmm.
see her on there. If you are watching your BET shows on
Yeah.
repeat, she is probably on there. I had the opportunity of seeing her at the Anita Baker concert,
Yeah.
the final series, which
Yeah.
we still don't believe is the final series, but that's another
Don't
conversation.
bank on it.
Really?
The final series every few years. Don't bank on it. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if we were out there again when the world opens up. I wouldn't be surprised if we start again.
Let me
Wouldn't
tell
even be
you,
surprised.
can I tell you the story about that one, and then we'll continue
Please
with the conversation?
do.
Because
Yeah.
that night was absolutely amazing. First of
Yeah.
all, y'all was singing your tail off.
Thank you.
But the best part was when the sound messed up,
Right. Right.
because it was like a master class of how to handle. I knew Anita Baker was amazing.
Yeah.
To watch her manage the sound from the intricacies, take the lows out, take the highs out. I
Yeah.
told I was sitting next to a couple out. They were like, somebody lost their job tonight. We don't know who, but somebody got fired
Almost.
because
Yeah.
she
Yeah. All the
she
time.
knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta ask before I move forward.
Yeah.
I feel like it's elementary, but I'm just gonna ask, what is it like working with Anita Baker? Like, what is that experience like? How did that happen, and what is that experience like?
It's a masterclass every night. It's a masterclass. And then sometimes it's kind of infuriating because she is absolutely grassroots. So
Mm,
where, you'll have like a professional tour manager or something like that, she don't do that. She has some guy in her organization who may count the money and might book the hotels. So sometimes it kind of hurts because it's like, oh, this is so grassroots. But then when you do get on stage, it feels like grassroots. It feels authentic. It feels real. And the people that are on that stage with us, with her, supporting her, are there for love of the game. And you cannot buy that. You can't buy it. Nobody's like, oh, I got to go do this show again. Hold on, I'll call you back. Everybody's thrilled to be up there. Everybody is excited. Even if we go through a bunch of crap getting there. Once we get there, we are all zen. We are all in heaven. And we cannot wait to support the queen.
one
And I
of the
can say the
best.
same for Saka too. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that too. Because I have
Yeah.
to say that was one of the best band. I'm getting chills right now, even
Yeah.
thinking about
I do
it.
too. Listen, I do too.
It was so good, just like
Yeah.
everything. Okay, move forward,
Yeah.
Daryl. Okay, speaking of that, so let me give you a word.
Yeah.
The word is fire.
See, but mine are always random. Everybody wants me to sing like the obvious through the fire. No.
Go,
I always
Tony,
think,
go. Go, Tony.
no. I
Go.
always think, because when we kiss, ooh, fire. By the Pointer Sisters. The Pointer Sisters covering Bruce Springsteen.
And
That's
this is
my.
why we talk about the vocal historian. And I
Yeah.
think, okay, here's my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
You need to write a book.
I should. I really do. But it would be my life story, but would also be like a background singer manual. It would be so
That's
many
what I'm
things.
saying. You
Yeah.
know, when I went to college, I think one of the things that for me, like if I'd have found the jazz band, I probably would have been in heaven. But I went to a particular
Absolutely.
college. I won't
Okay.
say the name, but so
Why not?
I went to Cal State Northridge.
I
You
mean, I
know,
went to Cal State Sacramento. It's the same. Chabu. That's around the
but the,
corner.
nothing wrong with it. But the story I'm about to tell ain't gonna be like the most great story.
Oh.
But anyway, so
Oops. Oh. Maybe you
but
should have said the name.
I was trying. Okay, well, we said it, so here it goes. It is
Yeah,
what it
here
is,
we are.
allegedly. So imagine a black boy from Canada growing up in Rancho Cucamonga,
Yeah.
and my singer. From a time I was a child, I'm half Caribbean, so my grandma would be like,
Oh,
"What
okay.
do you want to do when you grow up?" I'd be like, "Well, I want to be a singer," and she's like, "Well, that's good, but
What do you want to do for a job?
what do you really want to do?" Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, nurse, doctor, lawyer. And I'm like, I want to be a
Yeah.
singer. So, anyways, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
story. So
Yep.
I get to college and I'm a music major and I'm in like these opera classes, which are great, but I was like, I don't want to be an opera singer. Like, I have no
No.
intentions of going to opera. I have no intentions. And all of these arias are great. And they're very impressive to my black folks. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
But there's no, I won't say there's no, but there's very few history books when it comes to modern, dare I say, contemporary music. I mean, like Skylark, you sing
Yeah.
Skylark. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, Aretha Franklin. Okay, well, that was originally sung by Hoagie Carmichael, who,
Written by, that's right.
And then I think Bette Midler redid it.
Oh, everybody's done it.
Everybody's redone it,
I think
but
Diane
every time,
Reeves, everybody. Yeah.
and so many, I'm learning that I don't even know if there's really anything new under the sun. And so like, that's where you come in as the vocal historian. Like you can go like, I know that's a popular song, but actually Run DMC redid, or whoever, like you Did that come before college, or was that something that was just always just kind of in you?
That was before college. Because I tell people all the time, I was a listener before I was a singer. I wanted to hear everything. Even to this day, I have to wear earplugs every night of my life because if I stay, I mean, if I don't, I'm listening to everything. I'm listening to the way the siren from the the EMT van bounces off the building. I'm listening to the way that the dog, how far is the dog by how how close or how far their voice is, or
Yeah.
listening to the sound that the skateboard makes as it goes down the rhythm that as it crosses the lines on the sidewalk. So I'm always hearing. I'm a hearer. I like to listen and hear things. So it's not necessarily that I just want to sing. I gotta sing. I gotta sing. I don't have to sing. I can hum to myself. I can sing with my nieces and nephews who love to sing. So I'm a hearer first. I'm a listener first. And so I was enthralled with just hearing as much as I could. Most times after I heard it 7 times, I would start maybe trying to sing along or learning the song. But I wanted to hear things first. So my thing was, okay, I hear this and I love it, but every time I put this name someplace, I something else pops up. So I would, and this was before Google, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I went, I found who wrote this. I would look and see in the liner notes. Oh, that's the same writer from the other one. I wonder if it's the same song, and it'd be the same song, some by a different person. So when, like I was telling somebody a few days ago, technology caught up with my brain in that I've always been trying to have that database where I could push anything in and it would give me all the results. So like YouTube has been an absolute godsend and a full-on distraction in my life because every time I think of anything, I go to YouTube. Ooh, let me see what's on YouTube. But YouTube helped me figure out because of course my original training is from gospel, but my
Mm-hmm.
preferred training was jazz. And my thing was I kept hearing the same song by different people. And I think that really helped form my own style and my own shape or my own voice because I got to hear all the same song and all these different perspectives. I got to cherry pick which ones I like the most. I was like, I like that piece. I like that piece too. And I like that piece too. So it was about digging in the crates for me. It was about finding out who wrote it. It was about who was the personnel on the record, the personnel on this each individual song. And that usually led me to a new favorite. So I found I forget how I found him, but I loved Guru's Jazzmatazz. I don't know if anybody, I'm old, so I know Guru the rapper. He
Somebody
did a
type in
whole
Guru's
record. Yes,
Jazzmatazz.
Jazzmatazz. And it was
That's
a whole like jazzy influenced record. But he was rapping over the top and I loved it. I lived it. And that's when I first heard Bilal. So
okay. Okay. Wait.
oh my
Okay. Okay.
God.
Okay, Tony. Could you? Okay. Let's go to the next word.
Okay,
Let's
go to
get
the
to
next
the
word
next
because
word.
child, these stories.
I know. Wait. And listen.
Hey, yeah.
Okay. Hey. You know what? This one just came up in the comments, and
Okay.
summertime.
Summertime. That one is a little bit different, but see, even that, I still go back to Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff because that's my era. And
Okay.
then Summertime by, let me see the band. Summertime and the living's easy. The rap band. They're one of the original like sing rappers. And I can't remember their name, but it'll come to me. Uh Dang. It's the band that sing I smoke 2 joints and I smoke 2 joints and then I smoke 2 more. I forget their name right now. You know who I'm talking about.
I
But
have to look. See, this is where you're stumping me. This is why you're
dang.
the historian on some
But
level.
then
Because
this
my
happens. I get old lady brain and I'm like, shoot, what's the name of that? Dang nabbit. So that one comes up, but of course, summertime and the living is easy. So yeah, that always that Layla Hathaway,
you
she
know,
brought that up. Yeah.
so a lot of the culture know you from that infamous video. I
Yeah.
don't want to say infamous, but just that
I mean, it is.
you at the you just sit going back and forth with Layla and
Yeah.
hitting those high notes and doing those great things. What was it like singing with Layla Hathaway? Like, first of all, I can't even imagine.
It
Even
was
yeah,
the closest thing to singing at church that I've ever experienced. She
Mm.
and Rasan are like neck and neck in that everything that we did was so transcendent. Like you could see people being in a trance, and then you would also be in the trance, like depending on which part of the show it was. So those were the closest. I was looking at Rasan Patterson videos last night from a gig that we did overseas. And I was swooning, and I was in the video, and it wasn't even, I wasn't swooning over me. I was swooning over my friends. I was swooning over Rasan because I'm still a huge fan of his, and he's a wonderful friend. I'm still a huge fan of Layla, and I'd studied them. I studied them. I studied their backgrounds to the point now where you can call almost any Rasan Patterson song, and I can give you the backgrounds for it. And they even tried that one time in Yoshi's, which was fun. But yeah, it was like church. It was almost like singing in heaven
This
for
is what
God specifically. Like it
for
really
God. Wow. Even
for
in
God.
like for a non-church setting. That's okay.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
this is why I was like, I'm like, where do we go on this conversation? And okay, I want to get to the next word, but
Yeah.
first of all, tell Rasan I said hello because
I
I'm just
will.
a fan. That's it. And if he
His
ever wants to
birthday's
come on
coming
the
up soon. Yeah.
happy
I have to tell him.
birthday.
It's coming up. Yeah. If I
If
didn't
he
miss
ever
it
wants
already. But
if you didn't miss it, but if he ever wants to come on the
yeah.
DW experience or whatever,
I'll put you
I
in
just,
touch.
I got a Rasan Patterson story too, but we can't tell that.
Yes.
And it's nothing bad, but I've changed my life. I've you know,
I get.
and it has everything to do with me. But let's just say it
I
was a different
can't.
time.
That's
And
hysterical.
yes, my friend surprised me. That I was at a concert and I was very happy.
Uh-huh. 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 All right. And that no explanation
That's it.
needed. Yeah.
Yes.
That's all you had to
Okay.
say.
Next word,
Mhm.
magic.
If it's magic, then why can't it be everlasting? That one. And also, one late night so long ago, and I was not so strong. Pretty man come to me, never seen eyes so blue. That's Heart, Magic Man. I love Heart. Oh, I love Heart. Come on home
How
early, said with a smile. Oh, I love Magic Man. Oh, but yeah, I
I
love.
think that's amazing. And I'm like, it's just amazing how you are so well faceted,
Mhm.
well rounded. I feel like on some level, you are an artist, you are a singer that music literally just, it pours out of you in a
Yeah.
beautiful way. It's
Thank
it's
you.
nothing selfish. How
Thank
how do
you.
you how do you learn your music? How do you take it in? Like somebody calls you like, hey Tony, I got a gig for you on Monday. Here it is. Do you already know it or
Usually I do. If it's top 40, I do. I'm a pretty kick-ass karaoke singer. So
okay.
most of the time you'll see me either with my little not my iPad, but a tablet of some kind. Because I pretty much have the melodies in my brain. I just need the lyrics.
Okay.
So if it's something where I have to memorize the lyrics, and it's something that is a little bit more high end usually for the smaller gigs, local gigs, a couple $100 here and there, I can pretty much karaoke it. I can, put my little tablet up and kind of read there. And I usually call songs that are songs that I know well, but may, kind of get a brain fart with the words. But if it's something that I've never heard before and I have to know verbatim, I go right back to the olden days and I hand write out every lyric, hand write it out. And then I do what I call my dot matrix, and that's putting notes. I usually have music paper, staff paper, and
So you do
I
read
do
music
read
also.
music. Yeah, you have to for the sessions that I do, TV and movie sessions. You have to read music, so I read music, and I do a relative pitch. I'm not perfect at notation, but I do as much as I can, and then I try to match the pitches with the lyric, and then by the time I do all that, I know it pretty much inside and out. So I just need a couple of rehearsals to kind of cement it. But if I don't have any rehearsals again, like I'll bring my little notepad. People see me. I will come clutching my notepad like a friend. It'll be right here. And I'll hang on to it. And if not my notepad, my little tablet, and it'll have my notes in it.
Toni,
So
we
I
are like
pray.
coming down on 5 minutes. I just want you to
Oh
see.
no.
I just want you to see like my
Oh,
notes. You know, we can go a little bit overtime, but
we
you know, I like
can.
to. Okay,
We can.
listen.
Mhm.
If my people, you out there, there's literally 14 people listening right now.
Hi, 14 people.
That's saying a lot at the beginning. That means they are
Okay.
engaged. These are your
That's
fans.
awesome.
They are
Thank
interested.
you.
So listen, if you have a question, if you want to know something, put it in the comments and I will post it up there. Somebody say yes, please. Okay. Let's keep going a little bit. Let me give you another word and then we'll keep going further.
Okay.
Future. The word is future.
Future. I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Future. What else? Future. Future. I always think
Future.
future sex love sounds. Justin Timberlake. I'm trying to think about the song that has future in it. I don't know.
Well, you good. You pass. You
Yeah, I
pass.
pass. I was thinking something really quick. Really quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Someone Tam just asked, what's the hardest part of
Being a
being a
background
background?
singer. The hardest part about being a background singer is just how little you sing. It's painful. Usually it takes in a typical gig when you're not touring, you'll do like I call them a weekend turnaround where you'll go out to the gig and come home. And sometimes they're trying to maximize the budget and maximize the profit by saving money on your back. So you'll have the cheapest flight, you'll have the cheapest hotel room, you'll have, not so much in the dressing room as it pertains to snacks and stuff. So it can be hard that way because a cheap flight means layovers, a cheap hotel means maybe noisy. And not necessarily, we're not talking, Motel 6 or anything like that. We're not talking about Spirit, not by any stretch. But we are talking about, it may not be a one-way shot. You may have a couple layovers to get to the East Coast, which can be painful. Also, you'll have a 4 a.m. flight and they'll try to get you back. So that's kind of the hardest part. And when I say you're singing the lead or singing as little or less than you think, it's only because in a 48-hour period where, you've traveled 12 hours to get there and home, you're only singing an hour and a half, if that. Sometimes it's an hour. So, you're doing sound check, you're doing all this other stuff, and you're getting there, you're going there, all this build up to sing for the hour or the hour and a half, and then you're going home. So it's within that 48, 72-hour period, you're only singing for an hour. And that is a small fraction of
And I was
exactly
just
what you're
gonna
doing.
say, like I'm not traveling across the world, but
Yeah.
let me just tell you what people don't know about me. I love singing background.
Yeah,
I
me too.
love the harmonies
Me
when you
too.
get with the right people and you hit that sweet
Yes.
spot and
Yes.
everybody's just, so it's like the hardest part about singing background isn't singing background. That's
Yeah.
the it,
Exactly.
it's
That's the
the
easiest part.
that's the
But it's
easiest part.
getting to stage and then getting off stage, which can be the
Mhm.
hardest parts. So yeah, that's the
Um,
unfortunate thing.
we're going. Let's talk about vocal health.
Yes.
How important is that to you? Um, what'd you have for lunch today? What
It
the
is vital to me because what happens is you get those people who, come down with the flu and I don't have it.
Mhm,
So I get the call. So a
mhm,
lot of my gigs are second calls. I rarely get the first call. Very rarely.
mm,
I'm usually
mm.
the guy who's like, well, she's not going to be available. Try so and so, try so and so. And once they run all the way down the list, they're like, I mean, ask her. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll come down. They're like, okay. So, and it's because I take care of myself. And that's, I think, where the introversion plays in is that I store my energy. I keep my energy to me and I store it so that I'm available for what I want to do myself, of course, but also available for work because I love to work. So I
Okay.
make sure that I'm always in vocal health. Like I was telling somebody, I tell everybody, honestly, my ENT, who I just recently received because I'm old and I have to take care of things like that. But she told me about voice straw and
I was
I
just about to
actually,
ask you
yeah,
about that. Let's talk
I
about it.
actually had them and I just didn't use them. I think I had them for 5 or 6 months and I was having a weird voice thing. And I usually call her when I have a problem. But I went to see her and she's like, I really, really recommend Voice Draw. I was like, I have them at home. Okay, I'm going to do it. All right, I'm going to do it. It has saved my life.
It's an actual straw.
It's an actual straw. Let me see if I have them here somewhere.
Call your
But
singer friend.
they're
Call your
right.
praise and worship leaders.
Rats. Oh, there it is.
Come on,
Let me see if
all
I
my
can reach
singers
for
out
that.
there, all my singers singing at the local clubs. Tag
Yes,
your friends.
they're
Come on now.
amazing. They're Voice Straw, and I'm not
We're
endorsed
not
by them
even,
or anything. They're just
although hit up
amazing.
Toni Scruggs, hit up the
Yeah.
DW experience. I'll do a deal also. I'm just
Right. I'm gonna
speaking
have to do a
something
deal
into
or something.
existence. Something.
But it's
Yeah, take
literally a
notes.
straw. Literally, this is the large one. This is the medium. Child, did not look at my manicure. And this is the small. And there's two small ones. And you'll see that they're literally the same size as your coffee stirrer and a regular drinking straw. And what they teach you is to use these straws to sing because it naturally lowers your palate, which is a rested state for your voice to sing in. And for those who know, I just actually started running and then stopped. I stopped. But as any exerciser person who, exercises, runs, or anything, they say the best way to work out and to run and do all this other stuff is to have your muscles in a relaxed state. And I feel like that plays into what the voice draw teaches you. So all it does is you put your lips around it very tightly, so no air can get around. I think they say you puff your cheeks, but the technique varies depending on what you're trying to do. And you sing whatever you're going to sing through the straw, and it's basically a hum, and it just kind of lowers your palate, so you're in a very rested, relaxed state, so that your voice can do what it has to do without hurting you. And it is amazing. I do it to warm up. And then it also introduced me to cooling down, which I had no clue. But the big straw is used to cool down. Since there's more air can pass through it, it's less struggle. There's less struggle on your voice. And then the smaller straw, there's a little bit more pressure and a little bit more tension to kind of warm you up and get your voice, get your palate back to that rested spot. But I might even be making all this up. I don't know. This is what logically I think, but
But you know what?
scientifically I may be wrong. But
Yeah,
it
no, this is
it helped
good.
me a lot. Yeah.
This is good because what I'm learning as I grow, and just for all singers across the board. If you
Mhm.
are singing at church, if you are a session singer like Toni, or
Yeah.
or somewhere in between, one of
Mhm.
the things I'm hearing is that, listen, you got to take care of your voice
Yes,
and
you do.
consider vocal exercise. I think, and
Yeah.
I've heard you say it, and it's just for anybody across the board. When we're 12 and 15, we can just get up, swing from chandeliers, do backflips,
And holler all night and wake up
holler all
tomorrow and
night,
do it again.
nothing again.
When you get older, you have to make a concerted effort to get your sleep, to get your good water, good clean water, and you have to get your exercises in, especially if you're going to sing. And I'm kind of crappy at that, where I only do it when I'm going to sing, when I'm going to sing hard, and sing like Shaka Khan high stuff. But for the most part, at least when you're going to sing, try to do some kind of a warm up and a cool down when it's over.
Warm
And
up and
for
a cool
lunch,
down. And
I
I
didn't
took
eat
that in.
lunch. I was working. So,
Okay.
but I try to, when I am singing, I try to keep to a pescatarian or vegetarian or vegan diet, because
No
you want to
dairy,
get no dairy. You cannot do
no
dairy,
liquor,
no liquor, none,
no
not even
no
champagne,
ranch,
no ranch, no citrus,
no
no citrus,
citrus.
not even in your tea.
Mm,
No caffeinated teas because
no,
caffeine dries you out. So I try to make sure I'm having at least, fish, lean meats, if you're going to do meat. But I try to really avoid eating before I sing. I try to at least do it, or at most do it 4 hours before, if I'm going to do it, because I have a terrible habit of belching when I'm singing and trying to eat. So when I have too much food in my stomach and I'm trying to gulp air, because I gulp air,
no
I'm
caffeine.
belching everything out. So I have to avoid eating a lot
That's
before I
me.
do.
You know, I
Yeah.
just sing at church, and
Yeah.
I belch in the church. I'm
It's a
sorry.
mess. It's a
I'm a,
mess. God, I'm so guilty. And sometimes you'll catch me like, ah, and I'll be burping in the middle of a word. And it's horrible. I know, but sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you have to eat before you sing.
it
But I try to
happens.
say at least get it down so you have the energy as opposed to just having the big food gut. And that's another reason why you should really be careful about what you eat. So that in case you do have to eat before you sing, you're at least not belching this huge, horrible, something. You at least try to get a
Get it
light
out.
meal in. Yeah, a light meal.
So
I
so
do
here's
drink tea, but it's very, very specific. Hi, Keith. I'm seeing the questions down there. Hopefully, you don't
okay.
mind me
No,
answering.
no, no, not at all. Not a perfect.
But yeah, I do drink tea, but it's definitely ginger teas. Ginger teas that do not have leaves. Because I have a personal, issue that I cannot have tea with leaves. So ginger teas are the best for you, honestly. There's a ginger honey crystals by Prince of Peace, I believe is what it is. Little tiny gold packet
You
with
turn me on to
ginger,
that.
yes, with ginger root on the front and honey on the front. That was Shaka Khan special. She told me about that.
You
So
can get
that's the
that at
best
Whole
one.
Foods
Yes, you
or
can.
Sprouts or
Everywhere now.
every. Oh, really? Okay.
Almost. Yeah. We need real organic grocery store. Organic or high end grocery stores usually carry it.
Okay.
And also like vitamin stores too.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna move forward because we're coming down to. There's so much I want to ask you,
Yeah.
and So as we come to an okay, here's my question.
Okay.
You've talked about being introverted.
Yeah.
You've talked, and part of that being I'm part of because of what you do.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel like you sacrificed something that you're missing now to have to work in your environment? Like, have you, like when I think about like Jennifer Holiday and her story, and I've heard in her interviews how she sacrificed a lot and she had a lot of alone time. Do
Yeah.
you feel like you sacrificed that or something in order to be where you are and have what you have?
I think I did. Um I think I kind of sacrificed having a family
Hmm.
and a relationship, long-term committed relationship that led to marriage and children because I didn't have the time and I wasn't in town enough.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
but I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all because I have plenty of nieces and nephews. I have 12 this year. I have
Hmm.
9 girls and 3 boys. And I love them all like my own, and I get to play auntie to them as often as humanly possible. So it's not that I sacrificed, kids because I have them that way. And honestly, my career has been so fulfilling and so wonderful that I haven't regretted a day of it. Not a day. I'm so glad to have been even the hard times because they got me where I am.
Yeah.
So, yes, you can buy my music on my website, ToniScruggs.com. And it's if you look on my website, it'll tell you exactly where you can find individual songs because they're everywhere. They're on Apple, they're or iTunes, they were on Google Play. Google Play doesn't exist anymore, so it's now YouTube Music and Amazon Music as well. So they're everywhere.
Yes, and yes, she can come back as the schedule
I would
allows.
love to.
This has been so good. Okay,
Yeah.
so we talked about sacrifice, and I wanted. There's so much in music to talk about, but what I love about you, Toni, is that you are just so well rounded.
Thank you.
You are not only wrapped up in music, but you are very well aware. So,
Yeah.
what I want to ask you, in being aware in this climate as a Black woman,
Mm.
how has it been navigating through the music industry? Has it been easy? Have you had times where you're like, you know what? If I wasn't who I was, if I was somebody else, or if I was a white man, you would
Mm.
have treated me differently, or you would have paid
Yeah.
me more. How has your experience been as a Black woman in the music industry?
Well, it's unfortunate that it is this way, but um, it's almost as if women in music bring less to the table. and we are treated and paid as such, unfortunately. But when it comes down to it, what we bring is immeasurable. It is priceless because on top of, figuring out a way for three humans to do the exact same thing at the same time. That would be
Mhm.
like telling a keyboard player, no, you don't play by yourself. You play one note and you have two friends that come and they play the other two notes. And you guys
Mhm.
all play together, so figure it out.
Mhm.
So you get people who dismiss background singing as just girls work, or it's just that. But there's so much more that we do. People don't realize you have to be a makeup artist. You have to be a freaking hairstylist. You have to be a beauty guru to be able to do your makeup and keep your skin up to tour. That people don't realize just how much the artist leans on us.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're the ones who are getting the artist out of the bed. We are the
Mhm.
ones who are trying to force them to work out and to, warm up, to put on the clothes. We're like, girl, just come on. We're almost there. Just come on. We will be, 15 more minutes. We're almost done with this show. Just come on, let's do this show. We'll go home. We'll go get some drinks and we'll just go hang out and we'll do all the stuff. So we're leaned on quite a bit as background singers, as women in the industry. But we're not respected. And it happens. It does. It happens. It shows up in receiving less pay than everybody else, by sometimes three quarters. Sometimes we're making a quarter of what everybody else is making, which is, yeah, it's painful at times. And I guess they still have the mentality that women, are not the breadwinners, we're not the heads of household. And that is exactly not true. We are absolutely the breadwinners for a lot of our homes. Some of us don't have families. Some of us do have families, and we are the breadwinners because it's a lucrative job. But we get a lot of that. We get a lot of flack for maybe having an attitude when things don't go right, and I'm like, but things aren't right. I should have an attitude. You should be better. You should do better. You should treat
Yeah.
it better. And then on top of that, like not being compensated for the extra work that we do.
The
In that
makeup, the
we
hair,
don't
the all of
listen.
that. Yeah,
That is
yeah, yeah.
2 hours. 2 hours. And that is just the hair and makeup. People don't even realize that we have to bring options for clothing. So where the men can throw, they can wear their black jeans, throw a black t-shirt into their gig bag or their guitar case and get on the plane, get a toothbrush in the new city.
You know what? So let's talk history. So
Yeah.
you had me. I did my research. I mean, I love you anyways. I'm a fan of you, but I was just like, I had my Tony Scruggs hour where I just delved into stuff, and I have to tell you, I fell into a deep hole of Skylark.
Yeah.
I just met
Yeah.
so there's this version of Aretha Franklin, 2017, singing Skylark, and she tells the story of how she almost sang it on the Andy Sullivan show. It was
Wow.
with Ed Sullivan. Is that the
Ed
guy?
Sullivan. Yeah.
Ed Sullivan.
Uh-huh.
But she talks about how she had on a particular dress and she was singing the song. And now imagine this is probably what
The 50s
50s,
or 60s. Yeah.
late 50s, early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, that dress is low cut. It's too much. No, get her another dress. And Aretha's like, hold on now. I got other choices. Let me.
Yeah.
And she finally found the right dress
Yeah.
to wear through her sound check. And when she sang, it's not funny, but it's like, she was like, this is the song I almost sang on Ed Sullivan. Because she still didn't get to sing the song. They were they were overbooked. But it's just like, we don't take into consideration that that's just so amazing. Like even Aretha
Yeah.
Franklin,
Yeah.
you're
She was the goddess that she is.
the goddess that
And
she
then the
is.
Doors probably came on next week and in torn jeans and no shoes and barely brushed teeth and not almost brushed hair. So then there's that. There's a lot of
So
stuff we go through that people have
yeah.
no clue. No
So what I
clue.
want to ask with that, just thinking about 2021, we have a black vice president,
Yeah.
who
Black female vice president.
black female vice president. Shout
So
out to the
thrilling.
Divine Nine and Alpha Kappa
So
Alpha.
thrilling.
I see y'all.
Yes. Yes. I come from a long line of AKAs.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even today, it was so interesting that she got this weird flack for wearing tennis shoes. I don't know if you saw in the news, but
Was it Vogue
it's
or something?
Vogue, and it's already started, just kind of like the weird vitriol. I
That's
just bring
crazy.
that up to ask. for the future, and let's just hone it in on Black female entertainers, singers, who are coming up after you.
Yeah.
What do you see the tides turning?
Oh
Do
yeah.
you see a brighter future? What do you see for the next generation of Toni Scruggs coming up?
So the beauty part, the beauty for ashes that is COVID, has really changed a lot of things. People don't realize, where people had to keep this image up all the time, where they, if you were ever caught without, the perfect skin, the perfect makeup, the perfect hair, the perfect
Yeah.
ensemble, you were judged. Now it's leveled. Now people are
Mm.
like, and they're wearing sweats for the third time today. Who cares? Makes everything, it puts things into perspective. Now it's about, what do you actually bring to the table? Because now there are no cameras. Now there are no, crazy hair and makeup people that have to keep in your house. You're home.
Mhm.
You're home. So you're not really going to be that way at home. And I think it's a beautiful thing that it's brought reality to a lot of these fans, in that fans are like, oh, that's the dream. And I'm sure they wake up hair and glam down every time. And they have their hair and glam team that live with them, and they have it. Now you're getting the real. And this is where I live. I live in reality. I
Mhm.
love it. I love sweats. My favorite thing to wear is Abercrombie and Fitch sweats, honey. They're the
Oh,
softest,
those
most
are good
amazingly
sweats.
lush. And I love the men's sweats, honey.
Oh,
My
you've been
favorite color.
getting paid,
Oh,
paid.
honey.
You've been
Oh,
getting
honey.
paid, paid.
No, I
Those
just
are
caught
the
a good
good
sale.
sweats.
Just caught a real good sale. Especially for this Christmas and Thanksgiving. I just caught a real good sale, because I definitely,
Yeah.
child, $75 for some pants. You crazy? That's
I'm
work
like,
pants.
oh,
If I'm not making money in them pants, I ain't spend no $75. I just caught some real good sales. But no,
okay.
we're getting to the point, and even in COVID, now you're getting, everybody can make content on social media.
Yes.
So it's not special anymore. You see, people aren't really going viral like that anymore, because now it's not to a point where there's only a sacred select few that can make content all the time and just generate content and do. Everybody can. And I'm seeing all these people who are mad. The algorithm. No, what's happening is that everybody has the time to create content. So the algorithm has nothing to do with it. Now you have to
Yeah.
actually compete. So now it comes down to, are you any good? That's my favorite thing Toni Morrison ever said. Are you any good?
Come on.
What do you
You know,
actually bring to the table?
yeah,
So we're
that's
getting
that.
to the
Yeah.
point. That's one of the things, the blessings, the silver linings to this cloud of COVID, is that we're getting down to the real. We're getting down to the real. And I really honestly believe that the industry is changing because record companies are starting to divest. And record companies are what have messed up the music industry for everyone for so
We have to do
long.
a part two on that one,
Oh,
Tony
yes.
Scruggs.
Oh,
Tony
yes.
Scruggs, that's a
Oh, yeah.
whole part two right
Yes, it
there.
is.
I got a story on that one too.
Yeah,
When I
and they're
figured out,
divesting. They're investing
yeah,
in tech now. So we actually can have music back to us. And I really believe that now quality can rise to the top again. So I might even throw my hat in the ring. I'm thinking about making a record.
that was one of the
So
questions I was gonna ask, and
yeah.
here's the thing with you, Tony, and let me
Mhm.
just say this: you have a fan base, you know.
I love
You
them.
have a group of people. I got messages today like I'm gonna be listening tonight, and
Yay!
let me park right there and saying like, this whole show, this whole DW experience,
Hi,
you
DW.
know, it came out of an idea I had before COVID,
Yeah.
right? I was producing live shows. I, put my hat in the ring, and I'm kind of at a point like I really don't care. I care, but I don't have the same attitude I had when I was younger. I'm just here to do what God
Yeah.
called me to do,
Yeah.
right? So when I hit you up, I was like, I just post the day of who my guest is and
Okay.
promote that way. And somebody was like, well, Daryl, you should do a couple of days to garner enough attention. And I said, you know what? There's about 20 shows tonight.
Yeah. There's so much
If
happening all the time.
if
So
people
much.
tune in, if people listen to me, it's because they want to be here.
That's
You know,
exactly what I think.
and that's why I'm being respectful of people's times, because, and let me
Yeah.
just put this what I know to be true, our attention span is not what it was yesteryear.
So true. So
Okay.
true.
Yeah,
Microwave.
it's
3 minutes
you know,
tops.
I know y'all getting tired.
Because listen,
You
I
know,
am. Ciao.
they, you know, it's just there's
Yeah.
so much goodness to get out of you. So we definitely have to do a part two.
I would love to.
Thank you, such an honor.
I would love to.
How do I want to conclude this wonderful time of talking, because I know you need to get your rest. And let me just say, I just want to thank everybody out there that has been listening. The fact that you are still here, the fact that you are going to see this by replay here. I go preach them over real quick. It is not by accident. I just want you to know it's not by accident. Right. You were meant to see this interview. You were meant to be a part of the DW experience. So go back to the beginning and get all the nuggets out of it. We didn't get to play Truth or Thing the way I wanted to, but that's okay, because no. Yes, you got to come back. Yes. Let me and I have some other ideas too, because you are techie.
Yes.
Where there is a will, there's a way. Don't you let that Android fool you. Don't you let that
technology.
Toni Scruggs will do what an iPhone can't.
Listen. Period.
Period.
Pooh.
Period. Period. So let's end it this way. Let me ask you, what is your song right now? What is the song that has gotten you from 2020 to 2021 with everything going on? We've seen the Capitol. There's and I want to have you back on, because we didn't even get to talk about Black mental health and creatives.
Honey. That's a discussion in of itself.
So
oh my God, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me see. My friend just said, she said, I'm holding off on my shower for this honey.
Thank you, girl. Listen, I absolutely am honored that you are. I appreciate that. I do not take that lightly. Yes, ma'am.
So can you end the show with what is your song?
Oh, there are so many. There've always been so many. Everybody's like, what's your favorite? I'm like, you have to tell me a genre and a year. But like, yeah, but what song am I? What's getting me through?
What's keeping you right now?
What's keeping me right now is Aretha Franklin's catalog, because I'm actually vocal producing and contracting and hiring and everything for her National Geographic's Genius Aretha season. This whole season that's coming up next with Cynthia Erivo, and we're the I call it the we're the what did I say we're the heart team. We're the ones with heart. Jennifer Hudson, her movie has the budget, but we got the heart. We are all in it for the heart.
Listen, you said Aretha Franklin and National Geographic right there.
Yeah, and this is the first singer that they're doing for that series. So it's incredible, and I'm able to help Cynthia and the young lady who's singing as Little Ree, they call her, capture her sound. And so I've been living her catalog for about a year now, and it has gotten me through. And most specifically, this random song called You that I never heard of before.
Okay, wait, hold
Please
that
find
real
that
quick.
song. Yeah.
We're going to find it, because I want you to sing it, but let's get to the questions.
Yeah.
Keith, yes, we're in COVID, so we're still quarantined, so I'm not wanting to be out. But let me just say, the fact that y'all are enjoying this inside here lets me know there's bigger to come, and hopefully down the road, Toni will be a part of that.
I'd love to.
Tam just asked, she said, how do you stay so, how do you just, go ahead, Toni.
Stay so humble. Life, honestly, life has humbled me. And then I really honestly believe that that thing that the church, like the Bible says, where it's a rock is going to cry out. You don't have to do it. God can use you or anybody else to do what you're doing. So I feel like, go ahead.
But you answered that at the beginning of the interview.
I did.
You got to, you got to go back to the beginning, because we got a lot to cover. And I love you, Tam, but we can't do repeats right now. Go back to the beginning after this is all
I did
over.
Cover it. Yeah,
and I love you. See, Daryl got you. I asked those questions already.
He's hilarious.
What is your most moving song you sung from your
Tasha Musical Soul Watson?
What is the most important song you sung from your Shatararobo Shayaha? It was a tongue. What's the song?
Ah!
I don't know. From your belly.
You gotta explain that one.
Okay, come back with that one. Okay,
Yeah,
you
because
got
I
to
don't know.
explain that
We
one.
need a translator for that one.
We don't know who Tushawn Musical or Soul Watson. Um, Next time, Keith. Did I cover everything for part one right now? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in to Toni Scruggs. The fact that we got some hearts, we got some likes, and we got some shares. Let me say,
Yay.
Toni, this is episode 6.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, no, I haven't been doing this for years.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah, COVID hit, and I said I'm not gonna waste this good backdrop. This is good
Listen,
backdrop.
it's a good backdrop. It's a good good logo. You're doing good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
That's a
very
good logo.
much.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yes, I typed it in. Oh, he typed it in tongues. Well, we don't see. Let's just go biblical right now. If you're gonna speak in tongues in public, somebody has to be there to interpret it.
Interpret. Listen, somebody got to
Let's go
interpret. You don't
Bible.
know.
We don't have an interpreter right now.
I thought he might have been trying to say Rasan Patterson, but
I thought so too, but I thought it was
I don't know.
Part two.
Yes,
two.
part
Thank you.
two.
So let's just end with Toni Scruggs and the song that can you sing a little bit of you?
Oh God. Let me see.
Or you don't have to, whatever you want to do. I'll sit back.
Let me see if I can find the lyrics to it really fast. Let me see here. Oh gosh. And I had to learn it and I'd never heard it before. And it riveted me. I couldn't even do anything else for listening to that song. But let me see if I can oh wait, is that him? I think that might be them. You've been with me through the hard times, and you kept my body, heart, and soul and mind together. Thanks to you, you. And it's been us two against the world. And it ain't been easy, but we sure made it together, baby. You. That's all. Go do the research, find the song, because I can't even hold the candle. She is the goddess that she is and was. And you have to hear that song from her first. I don't even want to sing that much, because I want you to hear it untainted, because it's just, the song is perfect.
I just want to say, Toni Scruggs, first of all, where can the people find you? Let me make sure to ask properly. Where can the people find you? Where can they find your music?
Yes, on ToniScruggs.com, it has everything. It has all of my social media. It has videos and YouTube, so you can start down the rabbit hole. It has everything. So just go there, and it's spelled just like it is, ToniScruggs.com.
Thank you, Toni. Look, I want to get this right. When I get a producer and everything, but you get the point. We're closing out. I love this Skylar song. I just want to say thank you so much for being amazing and being on this show. I'm looking forward to seeing where your career goes.
Me too.
Well, let me just say 2021 is going to blow your mind. And
I hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Toni Scruggs.
Thank you.
Say to me, can you tell me where love can be?